and I've been rummaging through the bins like some sort of tramp. Welcome back to the channel. This is Accessible Autos. If you do like what we do, please subscribe to the channel. It does help us grow. In the last video, I successfully managed to drive the car 1,000 miles across Europe. I've always been able to import cars from the UK to the Czech Republic, and it's quite a simple process, but now I've got Brexit looming, which is about 2 months away. So I've got a deadline to get this car done before the window is shut and we can no longer do it. Now, you have to do 3 things. One is to move the fog light, which is there, from the one side to the other, because British cars have the fog light on the right and European cars have it on the left. The other thing is to swap the headlights, which means changing them to dip the other way. And the third thing is to take it and get it a TUV test, which checks whether you can actually see out of the mirrors, which is a really stupid thing. You have to pay lots of money for it. Anyway, that's what you have to do, and then you can register a UK right-hand drive car in Europe. I'll tell you what a fiddly job taking the back bumper off the Alfa Romeo is. First of all, you've got 2 of these, there and there, 2 little screws. This one is rusted on. This one came off all right. And then you have to undo, you have to pull this back here and get at one of those Torx head screws underneath there. So that's one. And then you have to strip out half of the boot. You have to take the back panel off here. There's a plastic cover on there, which involves 2 hidden screws underneath caps there. And then it's got 4 bolts there. You've got to take that off. And then there's 4 bolts here, here, here and here along the back of the bumper. And then you've got to strip out this thing, which is the sort of felt matting stuff, and inside there, underneath the light, there's 3 more fixings. One there, and then one which I can't even get the camera in to look at, but just further around there. And that eventually will allow you, obviously you have to repeat it on both sides, but that will allow you then to pull the bumper out like that and slide it backwards. So I've been messing around with the back end of this car. Basically, the thing I needed to do was to mend this in here and convert it from right-hand drive to left-hand drive. I had a fog light warning on the dashboard saying fog light faulty, and it actually was a pin inside the lighter coloured one of those 2 connectors. For now, I've got the reverse light now hanging down loose, and the fog light has been switched to the other side over here, so which was the reversing light is now the fog light. So I've got the front bumper off again, headlight out, and I'm going to park the headlights and put these projector lenses in, see if we can reverse the polarity of the headlights. If you want to take these headlights apart, you do have to get them warm, so 100 degrees in the oven for about 10 minutes, and it melts the butyl tape that sticks them together, and then you can try and prise them apart gently. They've got a few little clips on as well, which you have to release. But you can see it sort of it goes all sticky, and you can pull it apart then. If you do try and do it without actually warming it up, you will break the lens because they're not actually that strong. As you can see, it sort of comes apart. You do need to replace the tape. It's called butyl tape, and you can sort of buy it off eBay. We're going to try and get a new lens in there. I've taken the bulb out in that picture. I had to cut it out and drill a hole slightly bigger. And then you buy this, which in my case is a left-hand drive one because I'm converting from right to left. But you could also buy your own side if you were changing it into a projector. Easy enough to do. And that sort of fits in there. You put a little screw on the back, holds it in place, and a new bulb, and that ring sort of finishes it off, makes it look tidy. And then new butyl tape around the edge, and you pop it all back together. So I've rebuilt this headlight and put a projector in that one, which has been converted from right-hand drive to left-hand drive. One of the downsides about bringing the car to the Czech Republic is that unfortunately I can't keep my pretty wheels on all year round, because you need to have winter tyres, because it actually snows quite a lot here. So I brought the original wheels over with me without tyres, and put some new rubber on there. That's got snow tyres on it now, and that will do for the winter season. Well, it's a bit of a shame, but I have to put the 17-inch wheels back on with these big knobbly tyres, and they're going to be very noisy to drive. At least they stop crashing in the snow, which is always an advantage. So no more 18s for the whole of the winter period. See, some countries don't actually have the need for snow tyres, but here in the Czech Republic, 700 metres above sea level, it gets cold, it gets loads of snow. Went to pick my daughter up from school the other day in the wife's 4x4, and when we got back up to the village, the road was blocked. We got the fire brigade out, and this is our local farmer dragging people out of the snow drifts in his tractor, because the tractor really is one of the only things you can get through. I mean, we were okay, we were in the wife's 4x4 and we got 4 brand new snow tyres on it, but this woman on German number plates got dragged out unceremoniously backwards, and a little bit angry she was because it pulled the front spoiler off her car, but it's her own silly fault for having summer tyres on. So the day after this happened, the snow sort of subsided a little bit and it stopped blowing a gale. And we're driving back up the hill to home, and in the ditch is one of the gritting lorries with a snowplow on the front, and he's obviously gone around the corner too fast and he's ended up in the ditch. So even the gritting lorries end up sliding off the road. It's that bad. Anyway, the snow one year was so bad we couldn't get anywhere near the house. I had to park in the spot where I'm prattling about. And I got up in the morning, car covered in snow, tried to move it, and the tyres were just spinning round. It had a pair of odd tyres on the front and just wouldn't move. Some guy from the village came and rescued me and pushed and pulled and got the car off the drive. Anyway, my wife was staying at her father's house, and I went down there. And I got halfway there and got stuck again in the snow. And for once in my life, I listened to what my mother said. My mum, who was a bit older than me, had lived through some cold winters in the UK, and she said, "Oh, if you go into a snowy country, you've got to put a spade in the boot." So I did put a spade in the boot, and it actually got me out the doo-doo, because I had to dig a hole in the side of the road and park the car in it, just because I couldn't get any further with my dodgy tyres on. And from that day onwards, I've had snow tyres on my cars in the winter here, and it gets you out of the snow. I'm running out of time because of the looming Brexit deadline, and I've got to get my car legal in the Czech Republic with its Czech number plates on before Boris takes us out of the European Union. So, off to Prague in November. The weather's absolutely atrocious. I've got to go and get this TUV test. When I drove the car over from the UK to the Czech Republic, it was September, and the weather was really nice. And one of the things I discovered was the car doesn't actually warm up very much, and it needs a thermostat. Now, I thought, it'll be fine, don't worry. But the day I choose to take the car over to Prague for the TUV, which is 2.5 hour trip and 2.5 hours back, it's absolutely freezing, and there's no heat coming out of the heater whatsoever. I'm absolutely frozen. I've stopped at a petrol station just outside Prague, and I've been rummaging through the bins like some sort of tramp looking for a piece of cardboard, and I've wedged that in the radiator, and hopefully that will bring a little bit of heat. I've got another couple of hours. I've just been sitting on the ring road going around Prague trying to get out. Thankfully I put the snow tyres on the car, and at least it's going. We did get the TUV, which I will explain in greater detail when I've warmed up a little bit. But so far it's been a bit of a hard, cold day. There's lots of other things wrong with the Alfa as well, and I will endeavour to put them right, but let's hope I can get back in one piece without killing myself or the car. And there's a new thermostat. It's the quality one, because I've been recommended that you don't put a cheap and nasty one on it. and we're going to replace the thermostat, which is down here. So to change this thermostat, you put a spanner in there, like so. Undo that one, and then the other one is under here. Same again, if I can find it. There somewhere. You turn that, and then the whole unit comes off, and you have to undo the pipe clips as well. So far, I've got the old thermostat off, and as you can see underneath there, that's the hole where it bolts onto the top of the head. And this process so far has taken me about half an hour. A new one was about 70 quid, if I remember rightly. And as you can tell, quite an easy job to do. If you're a competent amateur like me, then it's easy job. This was the original thermostat. Actually, in the car's done 120,000 miles, and it's 15 years old, so it was well overdue. So we're back together with this little job of changing the thermostat, and it really hasn't taken me very long to do. I'm probably just over an hour. So it's screwed up tight. Hopefully all the hose clips are tight. I've got to put some new antifreeze and water into it, and we'll see where we go from there. I've also added a little modification. You see that grey bit of pipe there? That is to stop the cable chafing on the battery holder, and hopefully that will keep it safe for a while. So I did make it back in one piece, and I did get this, which is the essential piece of paper. It's the TUV, and basically the guy gets into the car, looks in the mirror, says, yes, that's very good, writes a 5-page report about how he can see out of the mirrors, and charges me 150 quid for it. But that, of course, enables me to get this, which is a check number plate. And when I went to get this, they said, oh, have a 3 years MOT, because the Czech MOT is 2 years, and the British one is 1 year, and we had about 3 months of British MOT left, so they tagged another year onto the end of it. So I've got 3 years MOT, and generally speaking I'm quite pleased, but I've got a whole load of stuff to do on the car, because there's one particular fault on this vehicle which they all suffer from, and it's a deadly fault. It could potentially kill anyone driving the car. Back shock absorbers are notoriously bad on this car. So that's number one priority. In the next episode, we start to do a few mods and a few improvements. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy what the channel does, please like and subscribe. The next video may well be a fleet update, because we've had cars coming and going off the fleet and some stuff that you haven't seen on the YouTube channel yet.